What up YouTube, Doomnyc here with a deck of the month for October 2013. I think it was about time that I got around to doing deck of the month again, and I know I've been a little slack. I moved in the last week, and then as you can maybe hear, I'm a little sick right now, but still that's not going to stop me from getting deck of the month out. So here we go. It's definitely gotta be Dragon Rulers. Dragon Ruler is obviously the most broken deck right now. Konami knew what they were doing. I mean, let's be honest. They banned the babies and not the big boys because they had to hit something from the deck. They couldn't hit the big guys because they knew they had the tins coming out and they wanted the tins to sell. But guarantee you me, guys, come December when that new ban list comes out, the big boys are gonna all go to 1 and the babies are gonna come back to 3. So just letting you guys know for those of you who plan on buying those tins next month. But anyway, this is the deck of the month. This is actually the same exact deck that they used to win YCS Mateo. The deck's been pretty good. I've been playing it. I mean, I like it a lot. I really did want to play a Dragon Ruler deck that used Fog King. I thought that Fog King was really nice. The only thing I don't like about this deck is it doesn't play Flamvel Guard. That's a big problem for me because not necessarily that card, but that card did everything you needed. It was a level 1 tuner that was fire. I mean, we needed another fire because to use Blaster's destruction effect, you have to draw another blaster, and you can't use Blaster's effect to get it because you can only use one effect per turn. So it was really kind of slow. And then if you draw like cards like Card Trooper, then you might mill them off, and it was just, I just like being able to have a little more options for that destruction effect. But other than that, the deck was fine. Max C, I was like, wow, like a lot of the decks, like if you play the mirror, like Max C is just ridiculous. That's why I hate this deck. I really do hate this deck, and especially watching all the tournaments, everyone's playing Dragon Ruler, it's kind of sickening. So hopefully after this month, I'm never gonna ever play this deck ever again. But I played it just for you guys. So we got 3 blasters, 3 titles, 3 Tempest, 3 Redox, just obvious staples. 1 Fog King, 2 Debris. Fog King works really good with Dragon Ravine. I mean, once you get Dragon Ravine, you've got this in your hand. You can ditch this to bring like the Corsica to your hand, and if you've got Debris Dragon as well, you can go into a quick Star Eater. Card Troopers, 2 of them. The mill effect is really good, plus the +1 when it gets destroyed is fantastic. Max C at 3, it's a must. I was a little surprised at first when I saw the deck that it didn't run Veiler, but then I played the deck and I was like, yeah, okay, this deck doesn't need Veiler at all. So this turned out to be fantastic. The 2 Corsicas works just perfect. Don't play 3 and 1 is too little. Like 2 just worked really well. The 2 Swift Scarecrows, this is a must for the deck. I mean, a lot of people might play hand traps like Gores and Trag, but the Swift Scarecrows like really stop your opponent from OTKing. There's a lot of times where I draw hands where I draw like all dragons, and that's bad. Like you need like the other stuff, and the Maxis can help you get out of that. But if you don't draw that or the little guys, like it's kind of hard if you go second and your opponent sets a bunch of back row. Then it's like, alright, you can't use Blaster's blow up effect because you only have 1 blaster in hand, and then you gotta pick and choose what you want to do. So it's nice to have the Swift Scarecrow in your hand where you can just say, okay, I'm not going to do anything this turn. If you attack me, I'm just going to play Swift Scarecrow, and that's it. For now, we're going to the spells. 24 monsters. We're going to spells. 3 cards of Consonants. You got the 2 Debris and the 2 Corsicas. More than likely, you'll use this on Corsica. When you ditch for a Ravine, you get Corsica and use this. It's just, the engine that this deck is so good. I almost want to say it's as good as when the babies were here. I mean, obviously it's not, but it's just really good. Then you play 3 Sacred Sword. Again, this card is just ridiculous. It's too good. 3 Dragon Ravines. And now the trap lineup is where this deck really differs from how this deck has been played before. Return is pretty good. You do remove stuff like this deck is built to win quick. If you don't win fast, then you have a problem because you end up removing so much from play. If you don't get return, like it becomes really bad. The one Mirror Force, one Torrential. I might change this. Like if I was making this deck my own, first thing I do, I'll try to put in that Flammable Guard. Second thing I do, I'd probably take out the Torrential and put in the second Mirror Force. The Mirror Force happened to be like a really nice card for me, so I'm just, this Torrential is only good really if you have Card Trooper on the field, or if you have this right here, Dracosac. Other than that, I didn't really like Torrential that much. Phoenix Wing Blast is a pretty nice card. I've always liked this card, especially since the Teledad format. Like, this is one of my favorite traps. And this card right here is absolutely fantastic. I didn't know about this card until this guy won the YCS, and I was like, wow, okay, this card is really good. Like, the first effect to banish a dragon and then gain 700, like, I never used that. It's like if my opponent's gonna destroy my back row, I flip this face up so I get to special summon a dragon from my remove from play. Like, that always ends up to be so good. Like, every single time, it's just too good. Like, run two of these. The card is just phenomenal. Alright, let's go into the extra deck. We've got one Star Eater. Obviously this is his exact side deck, and he built this for his playstyle and what he thought he would need in the YCS. But for me personally, I'd rather have two Star Eater in here. Crimson Blader is good. Angel of Zara never ever summoned it, so didn't need it. So I would probably take this out. Scrap Dragon. Colossal, I could see why he played Colossal because he's got Armory Arm, but I never summoned this. Thought Ruler, one of my favorite level 8 synchros, but never really go into it. Stardust, if they set a lot of back row, I would go into this. Never went into Black Rose, never went into Ancient Fairy. I see how the deck can play and how you can get these cards. I just didn't see a reason for me to do this, like to go into these, because the deck is so good. Like, it always has a way to get out of stuff. Orient Dragon, never needed to summon it. Armory Arm, never needed to summon it, and then you go into your rank 7s. Abyss Gaios is good, 2 Dracosacs and 1 Big Eye. I think after taking out some of the synchros, I'd probably play a second Big Eye because I like it. Most of the time when I go into Big Eye, I'll summon it in defense mode, detach, take their monster, and attack with their monster, because if they have back row, at least they'll destroy their own stuff and not the Big Eye. So it's a really good play. Well, anyway, this is the deck. Let's watch some replays. So I've got 5 duels to show you guys. Here's some pretty good stuff. Alright, so as you can see, and I played some pretty decent decks. This guy, this is a Myth Valley, but he's got Dragoonity, so he's playing some type of Dragoonity, so he's gonna chain this. But what I love about cards like Card Trooper is even if you negate the effect, you could still mill, so that ends up being really good. And his effect to draw a card activates in the grave, so even if he attacks it now and destroys it, I'll still get that effect. So that's pretty nice. So he knows what he's doing. Goes into Crimson Blader. He's like, alright, kind of figured I was playing dragons, so he's just gonna stop me from doing that. But I'm still gonna get my +1. And at this point in time, I'm like, alright, I got the Scarecrow, so I'm thinking, alright, let me draw some cards and then let me see what's going on. So I'm just gonna set some, and he blows up the Torrential Sea. At this point in time, the Torrential was a bluff. I don't know why he's playing Assault Mode Activate, but can't use it anyway because he went to Crimson Blader. So alright, cool. I'm gonna just Swift Scarecrow there and take no damage, because I felt like taking that damage at that point would have been bad. So I'm gonna blow up his back row. I'm like, damn, he got another Fiendish Chain? I'm like, alright, we're gonna go in right now. Gonna remove some stuff. Gonna get some searches off. And then we're gonna go into Big Eye. And I'm gonna take his Crimson Blitter. Now this time I did summon Big Eye in attack mode, which was a mistake by me. Guys, if you're going to play Big Eye to take someone's monster, summon it in defense mode. Like, that's something that you should do. So at this point here, I'm gonna try to take his monster. See, I put in defense, take his monster. He's gonna chain me. That's his third Fiendish Chain. I was like, wow, this guy, he's rank 3 and he got that. Like, that's crazy. So as you can see at this point here, I could have went Black Rose, blown up the field, but I was like, why? There's no point. I can just go into Star Eater at this point right now. And at this point he scoops, and you know, because he's got assault mode activate and he's got that, so he's like, alright, there's no point in playing that out. So that's one duel down. Alright, so now see, this is nice because I have the Debris and the Fog King in my hand. So now if I can get myself the Dragon Ravine, and I've got the Swift Scarecrow, so I'm not gonna play anything. So I look at this guy, I'm like, oh, he's playing Maiden. And check this out, guys, look at this Trihorn Dragon. When's the last time you saw that card? That's ridiculous. I'm like, alright, I guess it won't hurt if I just summon this. Let's see what he does. So he's going to target his own card. I'm going to max C and chain. And look at that. He does not summon a Blue Eyes because he doesn't want me to draw any cards. I'm like, that's fine. I'm going to put this in defense mode. Set this. He's going to Raigeki break that card. I'm like, okay, again, the Torrential gets used as bait. Like, the card never gets played. Right? So what does he got here? He's got another safe zone. I'm like, that's fine. Boom, boom, boom. Gonna go for the mill right here. I mean, a lot of people are probably thinking, why didn't I go Star Eater? I wanted to use the effect from the graveyard instead of using it on the field. When he summoned this too, like, I knew he was gonna summon something, but I was just like, let me wait because I don't want to waste. And he summons again, and so he's gonna use that effect to get another card. But at this point now, I've got 2 Swift Scarecrows, so I'm gonna blow up his back row because I think that that's the best thing. He's not gonna chain that because then, you know, he can't. So I'm like, alright, cool. You know, we're at that point anyways, point of no return, so I'm gonna have to attack anyway. So I'm like, okay, cool. I got a big monster on the field. I got the 2 Scarecrows in my hand. I'm like, cool. He can use that effect to bring back the monsters all he wants. It doesn't make a difference. So right now I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna attack. I'm like, alright, cool. End my turn. I'm gonna play it slow just to see what he does. And right, get special summon again, so he gets the effect again. So I'm like, okay, he's gonna ditch, blow up. And he's gonna attack. I'm just gonna Swift Scarecrow. No damage for me. That wouldn't have killed me, but I would have been very close. So I'm like, alright, now it's time for me to play some cards. And this is why Dragon Rulers are a problem. So I take his monster, I'm gonna kill his Blue Eyes, and he'll his Azure Eyes, or however you say it. And then here we go. He's gonna bring the Black Luster on the field. I'm like, alright, that's cool. You want to attack? I got Mirror Force. And then he scoops right there. This is pretty much how this deck is gonna play. We're gonna go on to game 3 now. I mean, it's kind of unfair, and this is the reason why this deck needs to be destroyed. Alright, so look at this guy. This guy is playing Gaga Kid. He's playing like a Yuma deck, you know. Kind of ridiculous. And look at that, 46 plus the 6 is 52 card deck. So I'm like, alright, I'm just gonna go into this so he can't special summon any level 5 or higher because I don't know what he's playing, you know. But then he plays this, and I'm thinking, alright, I should have played Max C there, but I was like, played it a little late. And he's gonna go and go into like Victory. I'm like, okay, that's cool. So he uses the effect, and I was like, that's cute. That's very cute. So I'm like, alright, here we go. Ditch. gonna throw Fog King in the graveyard. Bam, summon. Gonna get my Fog King back. I'm gonna go into Star Eater right here. I'm gonna attack. He's not gonna be able to chain anything. And then at this point, this is the reason why you don't play decks that you have to overextend in order to make your big pushes. It's not good. Dragon Rulers, they even out themselves. Every time you overextend with them, when they get removed from play, you can add another card. They even themselves out. This is what makes them so broken, because you can't minus with them. It's just kind of ridiculous. So he's gonna bring back victory. It's not gonna make much of a difference, right? That just raises his defense, and then he attacks, thinking that he could activate the effect, but not realizing that no, he can't. So I'm just gonna attack, but this is a misplay by me because I forgot that this can't be targeted by cards while in the battle phase. But I'm like, that's cool. And then he has, you can tell this guy doesn't know how to play, because he tries to play Magic Cylinder when I attack, doesn't realize that it doesn't work on Star Eater, and that's that game. So yeah, that guy was bad. He was terrible, but the reason why I recorded that, now this guy's playing Infernity, the reason why I recorded that is to show you that even again, like against bad people, this deck is autopilot. Like, you don't even have to think. Like, I can make bad plays, because I'll admit I don't know the deck inside out. I don't like Dragon Rulers at all, but it's worthy to be deck of the month, so that's why I'm showing you guys. But I don't really like the deck, but even against a bad player, the deck's autopilot. So I mean, if you're just bored and you want to just play a deck and just get wins, like Dragon Rulers, like the deck you gotta play, you just gotta kind of remember. I think the biggest thing for me was remembering that you can only activate one effect per monster per turn. Once you get that down, like, then you'll be able to play the deck properly. But as you can see, a lot of the times, like, I go into Star Eater a lot. People say you shouldn't go into it early, but I personally, this is the reason why I want to play 2, because I like going into it early because the option is there. So if you can play 2 of them, I can play one early and play one later, and that just works for me. So I've got the 2 maxis in my hand. This guy's, I'm just waiting for this guy to go off, and this is how devastating this is, because I'm gonna get monsters put on the field, and then I'm gonna get to go into my big guy right here. I'm gonna take his monster, see defense mode, I'm gonna take his monster, and I'm gonna attack, and then on his turn, now he's gonna summon this Infernity Mirage, and that's pretty bad, because I'm gonna chain Maxi, and then he's just gonna remove to destroy that, and he's not gonna do anything because he doesn't want me to get cards. What he doesn't realize is at this point, it didn't matter. He needed to make a play there, and he's got a barrier set here, so he should have definitely made a play, but instead he decided not to, and that was the problem. I'm just gonna take his monster, he's gonna negate it, so that's when I figured out what that was. It was a barrier. I'm just gonna go into level 8, but before I do, he scoops because he realized, like, damn, I messed up. And this is what this deck does. Konami, please, when we get to December, please just ban the hell out of this deck. Like, put the big guys to 1 and just squash everything. Make people play this deck the way it was supposed to be played. Like, even if you brought them down to 2, somebody'd still be able to make a deck where they play 2 of each. Like, just put them down to 1. Or if you don't want to put all of them down to 1, like, put the strongest one. Like, I would put Tempest and Blaster to 1, and then put the, like, Redox and Tidal to 2, because the only deck that really utilizes Tidal is Mermail, and Tempest is really good for this deck because it searches Corsica and Debris Dragon. So Tempest is important, so you could limit that. Blaster is just too splashable in a lot of decks, plus he's the strongest one at 2800, so him at 1 is good. Redox, has a good effect, like especially in Machinas, Gurgias. You could use it. It's good. So I mean, it's this card will be used in a lot of other decks. But as you can see here, I'm gonna attack, and it's Marshmallow. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, alright, I'm just gonna go and Scrap Dragon, blow this up. And at this point, you know, there's really nothing that this guy can do. And he's gonna look. He ditches Dark Armed, and here's where he messes up, because he kind of forgot how this card works. So he had a scoop there, but he kind of forgot that Megamorph only works when you have less life points. But I mean, you get the idea, guys. I don't really, have to go into detail on these duels. This is Dragon Ruler. Play the deck. You're gonna see how fraudulent this deck is, and how fraudulent Konami is to every year. They gotta make something that's just ridiculous like this. So play the deck if you want to troll people, because people don't like when they see this deck. A lot of times I would go, and as soon as they see me start ditching dragons, like they just surrender and they're like, okay, next game. People don't want to play this anymore. They're sick of it. They're sick of seeing it everywhere, and especially if you're playing for fun, this is not really a fun deck. Unless you want to troll people, then yeah. So guys, this is Deck of the Month for October 2013, Dragon Ruler, the deck that won YCS Mateo. Told you what I'd change. Leave your comments down below. Tell me what you would like to play in the deck and how you would make this different. Don't forget to thumbs up the video. And until next time, YouTube, peace.